Hello, I'm Artem Marchenko from agilesoftwaredevelopment.com. On our site we cover agile software development methods such as Scrum. One of the artifacts of the Scrum process is Sprint Backlog. That is little more than just a list of tasks for completing during the current sprint. Sprint Backlog is an artifact owned by the team, and therefore it can take many forms. It can be a set of cards on the corkboard, plain text in a team wiki, or a number of rows in Excel. Today I'm going to demonstrate how you could keep your sprint backlog in the simplest possible Excel sheet. To get started, go to agilesoftwaredevelopment.com, scroll down to All Time Popular and choose Simple Sprint Backlog example. Download this Excel file. It's just a simple Excel without any macros. What you see is one of the typical sprint backlog formats. There is a list of tasks associated with particular product backlog items. These are tasks that the team committed to completing during the current sprint. There are estimations in ideal engineering working hours. There is a burn down chart, and as a bonus there are a number of comments. This backlog looks like it could look after the day 9 of a 2-week sprint. Let's see how the sprint backlog could have started. Let's suppose that the team worked on the following product backlog, and for sprint 3 the team agreed to work on delivering the weather forecasts to mobile devices, and team agreed with the product owner on the following sprint call and following list of stories to complete during sprint 3. During the second part of sprint planning, team copies these stories to the clean sprint backlog template, just like this. Then the team figures out the tasks needed to complete the stories and estimates the task complexity in ideal engineering hours. After initial estimations, the list of tasks and estimations look as follows. Note this handy formulas that copy the estimations from left to right. 16. Note also that there are no tasks bigger than 16 ideal hours. There is no strict rule about that, but it is generally considered a good practice to have tasks smaller than 16 ideal hours. It makes the tasks easier to manage and track. If after estimating the effort needed, a team figures out that there is too much work, well, they can immediately turn to product owner and ask him to remove some of the items or simplify one of the stories. During the sprint, team updates the estimations every day. A good moment for it is a daily stand-up. However, there is no strict rule about it. There are teams who like updating sprint backlog every morning or every afternoon, or just whenever they feel there is something to update. Let's suppose that after a team started working on the very first task on connecting to the remote server, it figured out that the data provider legacy protocol is far more complex than was expected. As a result, the estimation of work left can actually go up even though some work has been done already. During sprint, the team might have realized that some other task is needed in order to complete a particular task. Well, then you just add this task to a sprint backlog. In this case, the team decided that they need to redesign some screen and to refactor the server code. At some point, team might realize that it overestimated the velocity or underestimated the complexity of the tasks they committed to do, and if product owner agrees, the whole story can be removed from the sprint backlog. Let's say that it happened on day 3. What you see here is the simplest possible sprint backlog implemented in Excel. The format simplicity is both a power and weakness. It's very easy to get started with this kind of template, but quite many things have to be done manually. For example, there is no automated copying from the product backlog to sprint backlog, and for task removal you might have to use font dialog and insert or remove Excel rows manually. If you start using this template, feel free to modify it, improve it, and tell about your improvements on the agilesoftwaredevelopment.com forums. Thank you for watching this tutorial.